Welcome to Python Programming Language video tutorials by Talentshine India Private Limited. I am your host Babu sir, technical, quant, logical reasoning trainer. In my previous tutorial, I have discussed introduction to set data structure and creating a set objects. In this tutorial, I would like to discuss a few methods from the set. So those are add method, update method, remove method, discard method, and sorted method. And I would like to discuss even membership operator as well. So without wasting much time, let us begin with the first method, that is add. So for that, let me open my Paint over here and let me write it over here. So we are going to discuss add method. So what is the role of this method? So this method will be used to add a single element into the set. To add single element into the set. Now, what is the syntax for this method? The syntax for this method is set name dot, here A is a set name, dot add. Here you have to pass element. So this element must be immutable. So how many elements you can add using this add method? Only single element. That single element you have to pass at this method. But that single element must be what? Immutable, which means it must be hashable. So this object must be having hash value. Now, let me write a few examples so that you could understand this method in a better way. For that, let me open my IDE. Here, I'm going to take one set. So let us create the set over here. So for that, let me add a few elements. So let us add one float value. Let us add one string also. I have added one string over here and one more string I'm going to add it here. Now, I would like to add one element, single element into this set. Now, so for that, a dot add, and you have to write here the single element. So single element I have added here this capital V. Now let us print a. Now you could see the output. The element has been added. Now, as I told you, the element must be immutable. So here, capital B. So this is what an element which is immutable, right? Now, let us try to add one mutable object. So let us take here list. Now, can we add the list into the set? No, we cannot add a list because list is mutable. Now, if I print A, now you could see the difference, right? So it rises error and it is what? Unhashable, right? So list cannot be added into the set. Now, can we add dictionary? It's not possible. Even dictionary is also a mutable object. Now, let me write here two elements. Now, write second element. Now, you could see it raises a similar error, type error. Hope you could understand. Unhashable type dict. Hope the idea of this method is clear to everybody. Now, in this method, we can add single element into the set. That element must be what? Immutable type. If you are trying to add a mutable elements, then it raises a type error. Hope the idea of add method is clear. Now, let us discuss update method. Now, what is the role of this update method? So this method will be used to add multiple elements into the set. So do remember, if you want to add single element, so we are going to use add method. And if you want to add multiple elements, so we can use update method. Now let us write here the syntax for this method. So set name dot update, and here you have to pass iterable. Iterable means you might be add a list. It might be tuple. It might be set. It might be string. Now, so let me create one set here. So A is equal to, I'm going to create one set with a few elements. Now, let us add multiple elements over here. So let us write here set name dot update. And here, as for the syntax, you have to pass iterable. Now let me pass one list. Now you could see what will happen. Let us print A. Now you just see the output. So the output is what? These elements has been added into the set A. So since 2 is already is there, 8 and 9 will be added. So hope the idea of this method is clear. Now, can we add a tuple? Yes. So instead of list, let me copy this. Now, instead of this list, now let us take tuple. Now let me change the numbers for differentiation. Now you could see the output. So these three elements has been added. Now tuple may not be joined here. The elements which are there in this tuple will be added. Here list will not be added. The elements which are there in the list will be added. So hope the idea is clear. Now, if you are going to add one string, so string means here a sequence of character. Now, if I'm going to write here, hello. Now, I would like to add this hello into the set. Then what will happen? Since it is a sequence of characters, now in the output, every character will be added as an element. So that is what the difference. If you want to add this single element, so we are going to use add method. If you want to add every character as an element, so we are going to use update method. Now let me print A and see the difference. So every character has been added here. L, E, H, and so on, right? So if repeated characters are there, so will be removed. So only unique characters will be added. So hope the idea of update method is clear to everybody. Now, if it is clear, now let us discuss the next method, that is a remove method. So let me remove this and let me explain the remove method. So what is the use of this remove method? This method will be used to remove a specific element from the set. Now let me write here the syntax for this method. So set name dot remove, and here you have to pass the element in which you would like to remove it. So here two cases you just try to remember it. If element is exist in the set, then it removes it. If element is not existed, if element is not existed, in the set, then it raises an error. It raises what error? Key error. So do remember. Now let me take one example. So A is equal to, I'm going to take certain elements in the set. Now let us use A dot remove. I would like to remove 4 from the set. Now do remember, this method does not return anything. You could see it does not return anything. So what it will do? It modifies the set. Now let me print A. Now you could see. Now the element which I have passed here, that has been removed from the set. Now if this element is not existed in the set, then what will happen? Now you could see here 40, which is not existed in the set. In this particular case, it raises key error. Do remember, it raises key error. Now if you don't want to get this key error, now let us see the next method. Let me remove this. Now let me discuss the next method, that is discard method. So what is the use of this discard method? This method will be used to remove the element from the set. So here also a specific element will be removed from the set. Now let me write the syntax for this method. The syntax is setName dot discard, and here you have to pass element. Here also two cases. If the element existed, it removes it. If element not existed, then it does not raises error. Does not raises error. But in previous case, what happened? It raises error. So previous method is remove method. If you are going to use remove method, and if you wish to remove the element which is not there, then it raises error there. But in discard method, it does not raises error. So that is what the difference. Now let me take a few examples so that you could understand in a better way of this method. So let me create a set here with a few elements. Now A dot, let us use discard method. Now let us delete the element which is there in this set 3. Now let me execute it. This method does not return anything. You could see. So instead, it modifies the set. Now let me print A so that you could see. So the 3 has been removed. Hope the idea is clear. Now if this element is not there in the set, then it does not raises error. Now you could see. It does not raises any error. Right? Now let me write here 300. Now you could see it does not raises error. Whereas if you are going to use A dot remove method, so if you are going to use a remove method, and if you wish to remove the element which is not there in the set, it raises an error. It raises the error. So that is what the difference between discard method and remove method. So if you clearly understood the discard method and remove method, now let us discuss the next method, that is sorted method. Now let me write here the sorted method. So this method will be used to sort the elements, in either ascending order or descending order. So this method will be used to sort the elements in ascending order or descending order. Now, let me write the syntax for this method. So sorted of, and this is what a built-in method. So sorted of, it holds three parameters. The sorted method holds three parameters. So we have discussed already in my previous tutorials as well. So the first parameter is iterable. So do remember this is a built-in method. It holds three parameters. The first one is iterable and the second one is key, which is equal to none. And here you could pass functions. It might be built-in function, or it might be user-defined, or it might be lambda function. Now, the next parameter is reverse flag, which is set to what? False always. So sorted method holds three parameters. One is iterable, second one is key, and third one is reverse. And these two are optional parameters. And reverse always set to what? False. And you have to pass iterable. It is a mandatory parameter, right? Now, this method will be giving what here? It returns list. It returns what? List. Do remember. So here, if you pass iterable as set, it provides the result in the form of what? List. So do remember in output in what way we are getting. So output, we are getting it as a list format, right? Now, let me take one example so that you could understand in a better way. So let me create one set. So I've created one set here. Now let me use sorted method. So let us pass the set over here. Here iterable is what? A. So in this iterable, you may pass list, tuple, set, and you may pass here string. So as per your requirement, so you could pass it here, right? So here I'm going to pass set. Now these are the optional parameters. So I haven't passed here. So only one parameter I have passed. That is what? Iterable. Now if I have executed, now the elements which are there in this set has been arranged in ascending order and it returns the output in the format of what? List. So do remember. Here, suppose if we have a repeated elements, so here 3 is repeated, then you could see the output. Now output is having only 1, 3, right? So because of the set, so set consists of unique elements. So it will be sorted and the elements are unique, right? So the output, do remember, we got in the form of list, right? Now, this method does not modify the original set. It remains the same. Now, if you see here, print A, so there is no modifications you could identify. So A remains the same, right? Now, let me create one variable and let me print B. So it generates what? The sorted method is going to generate a list, right? Now let me print B. Now you could see it generates what? A list. It creates a new list. So where we have the elements are in ascending order, as reverse flag is set to what? False. Now let me write here reverse flag, which is equal to false. We will be getting the similar output, same output. Now let me erase this print here. The output remains the same. Now let me take here key is equal to one function I'm going to take, that is absolute value function, AVS function. Now for that, let me change here the values. So I'm going to give some negative integers. Now, let me execute it. Now you could see over here. So what is a small element here? So 1. Next, the small element is -2. As this ABS function, it converts negative integers into positive integers. This -2 becomes what? +2. So hence, greatest element after 1 is 2. Next one is 3. Next one is 4. And next greatest element is -20 because it becomes 20. So I hope you could understand. Even you could pass here built-in functions like ABS. Hope the idea is clear, right? Now, if you want to get the output in a reverse order, which means a descending order, so this reverse flag has to be set at true. Now you could see the output in the descending order. Now, so let me take a few elements in set A, and now let me take another function that is lambda. And I'm writing here x colon x square. Now let me change here reverse flag as false. Now you could see the output. So 1 -2, 3, 4, right? So 1 square 1 -2 square becomes what? 4, 3 square 9, 4 square 16. So the order remains the same, right? So this lambda function role is what here? Every element, so we are going to identify the square. So hope you could understand what I have conveyed, right? So these elements only be sorted and we will be getting output as like this. So try to understand. So here every element, so we are going to identify space. So respect to corresponding elements will be arranged here as per the order. Now let me write here the comments so that you could understand. So after finding the space, we are getting what? So 9, 16, 1, 4, right? Now, what is the least element here? 1, right? So corresponding 1 has been, we got as the first element. Next, the smallest element is 4, right? So where do you get 4? So this -2 square. So -2 we got as the second element. Next, the smallest element 9. So corresponding 9 element is what? 3. So hence we got 3. And finally, we are getting 4. So this is what the arrangement. So I hope the idea of sorted method is clear to everybody. Now, let us discuss the next method, that is membership operators. Let us discuss membership operator. So it is quite simple. So we have two membership operators. Those are in and not in. So what is the role of in? So it checks whether the element existed in the set. If it is there, it returns true, else it returns false. Now, let me give one example. Now, let me write here 4 in A. So it provides what? This membership operator returns what? Boolean values, either true or false. If the element is there in A, in that particular case, it returns true. If it is not there, it returns what? False. Now, let me write here 10 in A. So since this element is not there, it returns false. Now, if I stated here 10 not in A, so actually 10 is not there. The same thing I am conveying here. Hence, it is going to return true. So I hope you could understand what is the membership operator. So in this tutorial, I have discussed add method, update method, remove method, discard method, sorted method. And we have discussed even membership operators as well. If you clearly understood all the things which I have discussed in this presentation, please like, share, and subscribe our channel. Thanks for watching.